Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Nicholas Teo from CMC Markets here in Singapore. A few things to talk about this morning. Firstly, you've got a rate cut this morning by the Bank of New Zealand. Early this morning, they came in with a quarter point cut, bringing the rates down there from 3.25% to 3%. Now, this was very much in line with the expectations, but going into this meeting itself, the last couple of days, there were several analysts that even suggested an up to 50 basis points or a 0.5% cut. So in certain quarters, I think there were a disappointment, perhaps that a more not a more aggressive cut was actually taken. As a result of that, we saw a bounce on the Kiwi dollar, although it's pulled back slightly. We're still seeing this pair trading at the green, trading a high of 1.2% at one point in time. But anyway, just let me pull this up. Maybe a bigger picture down here. Now you see, just going into this meeting itself, there were expectations that things were not that great, and perhaps a more dovish sort of a statement may be actually more evident, but we didn't get that, and we are starting to see a little bit of a bounce down here, a bit of green down here on the screen. But if you were to actually look back further, if I were to just draw a few lines across, I think for certain quarters of the market per se, expectations are that we have more or less seen a completion of the move down here, based on or rather based on the fact that this has more or less seen a good base. I mean, both we are seeing probably the same sort of a flip down, and with good support at around the 65 level or so. So this 65 level is actually quite key, because I think it also represents a consolidation of this steep slide that we have seen from the end of April all the way down here. So for the time being, I think not a lot of eyes will at least come from the New Zealand side of things. Needless to say, the US side of things could also influence this pair to a bigger degree from here going forth. But anyway, just wanted to share that. Besides that, I'm also looking at this stock, Keppel Corp. It's something that I followed a few previously before and talked about previously. This on the back of a earnings announcement that is due at the end of trading today. Keppel Corp is trading up 3 cents in very early trade, trading at around 8.18 to 8.19 or so. Let me just pull this chart up. We've seen this slide come through since a big recovery from middle of April. It's now stabilizing down here, and I think the audience for Greater March part of the market, anyway, analysts are very keen to see not so much the results, because for Keppel rig builders, their results are more or less plus minus, not going to be a huge change, purely because the market can actually factor that in. Execution from the company has been flawless, and I think the market sort of expects that. I think what most people are keen to see is what sort of visibility the management may be able to give and provide in terms of going forward. New contracts, for example, new contracts in both drill ships, semi-submersibles, which are platforms, both of which are staple Keppel products, both of which are seeing a very, very hard time out down there. Rig owners, who are traditionally Keppel's customers, have been faced with idling their current inventory, purely because with oil price having halved from their prices in 2014, there's very few demand for or little demand for these drill ships, or these floating platforms, or all rigs for that matter. As a result of that, going forward, there's been very little visibility in terms of order or new orders going forth in the 2017, 2018, 2019 order book where Keppel is concerned. And I think that is the biggest concern where the market is. Now, technically, if the stock were to test this $8 level again, we can see probably a very fast move down further, possibly testing the 730, 750 sort of level, purely because these will probably trigger quite a few of the stops for it. Now, on the other hand, if Keppel does pull out a rabbit out of the hat with surprises, positive surprises, we may see this stock bounce back and maybe retest this 840 once support, now resistance sort of level. But anyway, this more news and more stories will be released at the end of the market today as the company reports their quarterly results. Anyway, just a few things to follow today. Thank you very much.